Today, we're diving into how to register a foreign company branch in Romania. We're going to give you a clear step-by-step guide for your big European expansion. So, you're looking to grow your business, right? And that huge European market is calling your name. But the biggest question is always, where do you even start? Where do you plant your flag?
Well, we're going to make a case for why Romania might just be that perfect entry point for you. It's not just about being in the EU. We're talking about a skilled, multilingual workforce and way lower operational costs than you'd find in most of Western Europe. It's a really compelling strategic choice.
So, what really makes Romania such a smart move? Well, it's all about getting that foothold in one of the world's largest single markets, but doing it in a really efficient, cost-effective way. And the benefits here are super practical. You can dip your toes in, test the waters in a pretty dynamic market without the massive headache of setting up a whole new company. The registration process is simpler, the initial costs are lower, and you get to operate under your own established, trusted brand name. And maybe most importantly, you gain direct official representation right inside the EU. Okay, now before you jump in, there's a really crucial choice you have to make. Are you going to set up a branch or a subsidiary? Believe me, this first decision shapes everything. Your setup process, your legal standing, the whole shebang. So what exactly is a branch? The easiest way to think about it is as a direct extension of your main company. It's not a new, separate legal entity. It's literally you, just operating in a new place. It has the exact same legal personality as the parent company. And here's where that distinction really matters. A branch, being just an extension, means the parent company is directly and fully on the hook for all of its actions and debts. A subsidiary, on the other hand, is its own separate legal thing, which gives the parent company a shield against that liability. So it really boils down to a classic trade-off: risk versus simplicity. So with that liability trade-off in mind, why would you choose a branch? Well, it's all about speed and efficiency, pure and simple. The setup is easier, the registration timeline is much faster, and your initial costs are going to be lower. Plus, integrating it with your existing operations is just way more straightforward. It's the lean and mean way to enter a new market. Okay, so let's say you've decided a branch is the way to go. Now for the fun part, the actual process. We've broken it all down into a simple 4-phase roadmap to guide you step by step. Here are the 4 phases at a glance. You start by getting all your documents ready, then you do the official registration with the authorities. After that, it's time to get set up with the tax agency. And finally, you handle all the post-registration stuff that makes you fully operational. Let's break each one down. Phase 1 is all about prep work, and honestly, this is where things usually get held up. Getting your paperwork in perfect order from the very beginning is absolutely the key to making this whole thing go smoothly. So here's a look at the main documents you're going to need. You've got your company's articles of association, a formal board resolution saying, yes, we're opening this branch, and a power of attorney for whoever's going to represent you locally. But see that note at the bottom? This is so important. All of your foreign documents must be officially translated into Romanian and notarized. That's not a suggestion, it's a non-negotiable rule. So let's say you get all that paperwork done perfectly. How long does this actually take? Well, once you submit your complete file, you're typically looking at a 2 to 4 week process to get registered. All right, phase 2, the official registration. This is where the ONRC comes in. That's Romania's National Trade Register Office. Think of them as the central authority that's going to make your branch efficient. So at the ONRC, you'll hand over that beautiful, perfectly prepared stack of documents from phase 1. You'll pay a pretty small registration fee, usually somewhere between 50 and 100 euros. Then, they review everything to make sure it's legally sound, and once they approve it, boom, you get your registration certificate and your branch gets published in the commercial register. You are officially in business. So, what's the all-in cost for this? When you add up the registration fees, the translation and notarization services, and maybe some optional legal help, the total setup costs usually fall somewhere between 500 and 1,500 euros. And now for the final phases that bring it all home. Look, getting registered with the ONRC is the main hurdle for sure, but these last steps are absolutely essential to becoming fully operational and, compliant. Think of this as your final go-live checklist. You need to get your fiscal code from the tax agency, which is called ANF. You'll need to register for VAT if you think your annual turnover will go over about 88,500 euros.
And then it's the basics. Open a local bank account, get set up to hire people, and make sure you get any special licenses your industry might need.
So you're registered. Congratulations. But now the real work begins. Staying compliant. Let's talk about the ongoing responsibilities that are going to be crucial for your long-term success in Romania. You should really think of the responsibilities as a team effort. Your branch representative, they're your person on the ground, making sure everything is compliant with local laws. And this is a big one. They have to be a resident of Romania or an EU citizen with a valid permit. Meanwhile, back at headquarters, the parent company is still the one that's ultimately liable for everything, and it's responsible for all the financial and tax reporting. It's a true partnership.
Finally, let's talk about what can go wrong and, more importantly, how you can avoid it. From what we've seen, these are the most common traps people fall into. And honestly, they are all avoidable with just a little bit of planning. All right, to wrap this up, here are the key takeaways. First, do not cut corners on translations and notarizations. I'm serious. Any little mistake there will cause huge delays. Second, pick a local representative who actually knows the Romanian business world, not just a name on a piece of paper. Third, get your accounting and tax processes set up from day one. Don't treat it like an afterthought. Also, be super specific with your official business activity codes to avoid problems down the line. And finally, figure out if you need any special licenses way in advance so you're not stuck waiting right when you want to get started.
At the end of the day, the bottom line is this. The process is pretty straightforward, but that doesn't mean it's simple. Your success really hinges on careful, detailed planning and getting the right professional guidance to help you navigate all the local rules.
So, now that you've seen the process, the benefits, and the potential pitfalls, the question comes back to you. With its direct access to the EU market and a really efficient setup process, could a Romanian branch be the right strategic move to kickstart your company's growth? It's definitely something to think about.